Quick disclaimer, I have moved on and everyone's names are hidden. Also, please watch all the parts. And the series also will get pretty deep because in part 2 I'll explain my mental health, which is very dark at the time. So yeah, thanks for listening and enjoy the story. Hey guys, it's Tang, and today I'm telling you part 1 of a story of an old friend. So before we get into it, I need to introduce you to the characters in the story. First, we have Scorpion. He's my boyfriend at the beginning of the story. I met him online in 2nd or 3rd grade. The summer before 5th grade, we started dating. Next, we have Python. He was one of my friends in 5th grade that I met. Then there's Pacific. He is also one of the cool dudes I became friends with in 5th grade. Before 5th grade, we did share one class. I think it was like 2nd grade. I don't remember. It was too long ago. Then there's Flicker, who has been my best friend since 2nd grade. And there's also Granite. She's also been my friend since 2nd grade. She'll play somewhat of a big role in the series. Also, don't forget Cactus, who's also been my friend since 2nd grade. He won't appear much in this series. There is also Opal, who has also been my friend since 2nd grade. Now, last, but definitely not least, the main character besides me in the story, our boy, Futurespeaker. He's what obviously this entire series is going to be about. And we met back in good old 5th grade. Now that shit is out of the way, let's get started with the story. So, it was the first day of school, and I was seated by these 3 dudes. One was obviously our dude, Futurespeaker. The other 2 were kind of annoying. Also, Futurespeaker and I had class numbers 19 and 20. Because of this, in every special, we were seated next to each other. PE, we did this dumbass thing, which was originally started by Futurespeaker, where instead of doing 10 push-ups, you just do 2 and be like, 1, skip a few, 10, or something dumbass like that. Of course, the teachers didn't care, so we were never caught. Later, we started to become friends, and then he introduced me to his friends, Pacific and Python, which they're pretty cool dudes. Later in our math and science class, we had to build the outer edges of a meter cube using clay, cups, popsicle sticks, and tape. The reason why we had to do this is because every fucking beginning of every year in elementary school, we'd always go over placement value. Like, I think I know this shit. Not like I'm learning this 6th year in a row, but, we gotta go over it again. So, for some reason, to help with placement value, we built a meter cube, which I don't know why. But anyways, we ended up winning this amazing competition because we stole another group's idea and decided to set ours up using chairs. And we won because we were the closest to getting a meter. The next thing that happened was at 5th grade camp. At my 5th grade camp, we would randomly be put into cabins with other people of the same gender, obviously. I got the village farthest away. It was down like a mile or so away, so I had to drag all my stuff a mile to get to this stupid ass cabin, which was kind of frustrating, but luckily they had a secret pathway that you could use during the week, just not bringing your stuff there, because it was in the woods. But anyways, during the day you would do activities with your classmates. One of the first things we did as a class was go fishing. So obviously it was me hanging out with Futurespeaker, Pacific, and Python. I mostly got all the worms. I don't know why, I just did. Apparently, Futurespeaker thought he caught a fish, but it turned out it was just a log. The last thing we did at class before we had to go home was archery, which actually was the one I was looking forward to most because archery is pretty fun. It was like our last turns to go, and we were lined up with the people in our numbers. So because of that, I was with Futurespeaker. So Futurespeaker, right before he went, gave me the idea to go diagonally. And so I did that, and I got a bullseye. So I said this dumbass thing to him where I was like, you did 1/4 of that, and I did 3/4, but I'll give you 1/2 of the credit. For no reason, because, I'm an idiot 5th grader. Soon, me, Pacific, and Python were invited to go to a Halloween party that Futurespeaker's parents were hosting. His brother invited a lot more people. Python couldn't make it because he was forced to go to a wedding, which is pretty funny, honestly. Because of that, me, Pacific, and Futurespeaker made fun of him for it. There was also a costume competition in the party. I dressed up as a vampire. Futurespeaker dressed up as like a dead Santa thing. and Pacific dressed up as a hazmat zombie. So you'd vote for who would win and stuff, and I lost, obviously. For some reason, I decided to vote for Futurespeaker. I don't know why. I just did it. Well, dumbass me. You never know what I'll do. Then at school, me and the boys would chat about good old Gravity Falls. I was a huge Gravity Falls nerd back in the day. Python and Pacific would tease me and Futurespeaker about dating, even though I had a boyfriend named Scorpion at the time, which we had a long distance relationship through multiple video games that we played together. Now, it sounds kind of dumb, but we'd known each other for a while, so it wasn't like anything weird. Funny story that Python led. One time when me and Futurespeaker were on the swings, Pacific and Python came up behind us and said, "Blue, Tang, and Futurespeaker sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G." It's like that dumb thing that you'd say when you were a kid whenever you saw two people of the opposite gender together. Yeah, they played that shit on us. So yeah, that was just another little funny story. Another story, but this time it happened in the cafeteria. Python decided it'd be a great idea to pack cereal for lunch. But instead of packing the milk and cereal separate, he put them together. Which, if you know anything about cereal, you know what the fuck happens whenever you leave cereal and milk. Soggy cereal. So because of that, he took out his little thing of cereal, opened it up, and there's barely any fucking cereal left because it's all soggy. It's like soggy cereal. So we created this joke where he'd be like, "Oh, it's Joe and his soggy cereal," and we'd say it like that. I don't know why. Another story that also happened at lunch. I packed a fork to eat with. It was a plastic fork. I pulled it out and it was all broken. So the way it looked was the two very left prongs were basically completely broken off. The middle prong to the right was somewhat broken off, and the one on the very right was barely broken off. So I was joking around with my friend, good old Futurespeaker, and I'm like, if this broke off, then it would be the middle finger. So I went to go point at it, though, and it broke off. It snapped off. And so then, for some reason, because I thought I was going to get in trouble for a fork looking somewhat like a middle finger, I took the fork and I threw it as hard as I could to the milks. Don't know why. Went through my head, like, I don't want to get in trouble for this. Yeet. No one noticed, thankfully, and so I didn't get in trouble, but that's really dumb of me, and I don't know why I did that. The thing was, because I was now hanging out with the new, cool, totally amazing group called The Boys, the Gravity Falls Boys, I would totally just was like, yeah, Flicker, Granite, Opal, and Cactus, screw off. These are the new and improved group now. And so I just started hanging out with the boys instead. Now, another funny story. I have a lot of these. You had to do, like, recorder the second semester, 4th and 5th grade. So you'd obviously, like, get your recorder and learn it and stuff. And basically there's these things called belts. Well, you'd get a belt for each time you do, like, a specific song that would achieve you a belt. You could do it as many times as you want to get that belt. Well, basically, you would get tested in alphabetical order. So in 4th grade, my class was extremely rowdy. So because of that, I barely got to test, and I got all the way up to blue belt. But my friends Pacific and Futurespeaker, though, were also at blue belt with me, which would seem fine, but the fact that they both failed their white belt test 2 times before actually getting the white belt. And I'm like, oh, so my class just fucking sucked? Mini tangent there. Now back on the thing of music. We had a play we had to do, or a musical, I mean. And this one was called, like, Dig It. It was basically about these people who found the remains of the past, and then there's songs sung about the past and what happened and stuff. I wanted to be the main skeleton, Lucy, but I didn't get it. Instead, I just got a Mesopotamian girl who spoke about Mesopotamia in the middle of one of the songs. And well, over here, Futurespeaker got to play the dude that literally created Rome. Oh, and Pacific played someone who built the pyramids, and Python was a background dude as well. So But nothing really happened during the play. Just continuing on, another funny story happened at lunch. Good old Python was up to his good old shenanigans. And so Pacific then joined in Python saying that Futurespeaker was Scorpion. Like, what the fuck? He just started saying, like, oh, I bet Futurespeaker is Scorpion in disguise. Woo. And obviously he was just joking around because he shipped us for no reason. But he was joking around about that. And I'm like, that's so dumb and childish. But hey, it was 5th grade. But then the DARE program happened. Holy shit, is this an interesting story that kind of turned the tides by a long shot. So, before we get into the story, I should probably read out my entire DARE essay that we had to write to graduate the DARE program. So, 3rd of March, 2016.
Dear future Blue Tang, it's me, your past self. Who are we with? Futurespeaker? Scorpion? I hope it's Scorpion. Are we living in Florida? I know Vapor would pay for a trip. How's Hens? Did we ever see Rory again?
Yeah, so basically, Henry is my cat, and, Rory was a dog I had that we gave up. And, yeah, when I was younger, I really wanted to go to Florida. I don't know why, but I did. But yeah, I didn't end up going to Florida.
I hope so. I remember wanting to be a YouTuber so bad. Are we? Are we famous?
Clearly, I'm a YouTuber, but I don't think I'll ever be famous.
Well, boy, I got a lot to tell you. Stop! Stop right there! You see that cigarette? Don't pick it up. Remember, cigarettes have 400 harmful chemicals. 100,000 people die from smoking a year. 50,000 people die from secondhand smoking. So don't smoke or hang out with smokers. Also, don't drink. You're not 21. Also, most teens don't drink. Remember that time in 4th grade we got bullied?
In 4th grade, there was this, like, asshole in my class. They're pretty cool now. So, I thought I got bullied, but no, they're just kind of rude.
Well, I'm here to make sure you don't do that. Don't be a bystander. Help the situation. If you're the one being bullied, remember the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. Don't forget to report bullying to a trusted adult. Also, to stop bullying, make an anti-bully club. Also, be a good citizen and recycle, turn off lights when you're not in the room, and take short showers. Make sure your school is associated with an organization that works to make the world a better place. If not, help your school be associated with one. I really hope we're at college. Are we getting our bachelor's degree in biology? Are we reading this on the plane to Florida? Is Scorpion with us? Remember those DARE lessons? Remember those funny videos? Remember how funny Officer Evergreen was? Remember her awesome stories and activities? And now it's time for the pledge. I, Blue Tang, pledge to be safe, respectful, drug-free, and most of all, responsible. You should all do the same. Love, past self, Blue Tang.
Fuck you. Anyways, so yeah, that was my horrible DARE essay. Hope you enjoyed. Pretty much just a bunch of cringe. Anyways, funny little mini story about this dumbass essay. Right before I was going to read it to the class, this idiot girl came up to me and said, "Ooh, you asked who you're with. Ooh." Then I scratched out with marker, and then she said to me, "You can't do that." Yeah, it's just a funny little thing someone said to me. I don't even know who did at this point. I just remember it. Obviously, I just read it in front of the class, and no one cared. But it was not that bad. It was okay, but not that good. Futurespeakers, to be honest with you guys, was pretty funny. I don't remember Pacific or Python, so I can't speak for theirs, but yeah, Futurespeakers is cool. So we would wait till after lunch to see the results and who won. Ended up, woo, my boy Futurespeaker won. He would read his essay in front of the whole 5th grade. It turns out that the DARE graduation would be on my birthday, which is April 21st, by the way. But also, that day turned out to be a Jet Day, which me and Python would call it Loner Day, because Futurespeaker and Pacific would go to Jet, which is like a special kids. If you have high IQ, can go there. Finally, it was April 21st, the day of DARE and my birthday. So that night, I went to the DARE graduation. First, we sang the DARE song. Then we walked to the DARE graduation stage and got all our stuff. And then they gave out like these DARE lion things, where basically if you're seen as having good
behavior, you get a free stuffed toy lion. Woo!
The lions are called Darren, by the way. I didn't get a lion, sadly. But now it was time for the essays, which, to be honest, a lot of them are kind of just generic essays. They'd be like, yeah, don't do this and stand up and blah, blah, blah. And had no personality whatsoever. But Futurespeakers was good. It had some good jokes in it and some good personality to it. To be honest with you, Futurespeaker is a really good speaker. So basically, the joke goes, if someone asks you to get the champagne, tell them that the champagne grew wings and flew off. Which, honestly, I don't think that's exactly what it was, but hey, it was a pretty good joke at the time. You would get a Dare medal if you read your essay, so yeah. So of course, he was number 20 and I was number 19. So because of that, during the entire thing, we sat next to each other, except the essay readings, because he had to go up and read it. We would talk the entire time, even though we weren't supposed to, because we were little idiot 5th graders. Came back and sat next to me again, and I commented on how cool it was in the middle, and how his speech was cool, and blah, blah, blah. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it ended up with me offering the medal to me, and me, at first being hesitant, but then him saying that he didn't care about it, and him saying that it wasn't important. So I ended up getting the medal. Don't know how that happened. And on the way home, my mom said to me, "Ooh, I bet he gave you the medal because he likes you." Whatever. Probably wasn't the truth anyways. So then we're going to teleport nearing the end of the year with a few weeks left of school. So I asked him if he liked me, and to be perfectly honest, he said no. And then I asked again, "Do you like me? I won't care if you say yes." And then he said no again. And at this time, me and Scorpion were slowly kind of splitting due to the whole long distance thing, So I asked him if he wanted to date, and said that if he said yes, I'd break up with Scorpion. He said he didn't want to because he wanted to wait till high school, which I honestly, it's perfectly fair, and it makes sense because of the things that follow. So I ended up convincing him that we would date in 6th grade, and we won't tell anyone till 6th grade. So obviously we swapped phone numbers because, we're dating now, woo. And that night I broke up with Scorpion over the phone. So now we're teleporting to the second to last day of the end of the year at school. So my brother was graduating 8th grade because he had less snow days than we did, so he graduated early. So I went to his graduation, which was pretty cool. So I'm graduating 8th grade. My brother's a cool dude. I enjoy him. He's really amazing. I was in the car driving home because my brother uses his dad's address, not his mom's address. So it's pretty far away. So it was around 10 o'clock at night, and I got a text from boyfriend's Futurespeaker, which that was actually his name in my phone, except obviously his real name. But anyways, he wasn't going to be there on the last day of school. So obviously Futurespeaker was not there. So then it was lunchtime, so at lunch, I told good old Python and Pacific that me and Futurespeaker were dating, even though the agreements clearly said not to tell anyone till 6th grade. But I said to them, don't tell him that I told you this until 6th grade. Me and Futurespeaker would play Terraria together. So he got this mod thing that allowed him to cheat and spawn anything in the game he wanted. So the entire time we were cheating, basically. He cheated a lot more though, so I'm gonna say I played mostly legit. He texted me a few times, a lot, about playing Terraria, do you want to play Terraria? Get on, it's a solar eclipse. Can you play Terraria? I want to play. And obviously some calls and stuff, and a few times I'd be like, alright, I can play Terraria, or hey, you want to play Terraria, so you want to play. He really was avid on playing that Terraria. So this is the first time we hung out during the summer. So it was at my former stepsister's half-birthday party. The reason why we celebrated her half-birthday was because her birthday was on Christmas. So the birthday was tie-dye themed, which I actually don't remember. I was allowed to invite one friend to hang out with. And I invited our good old buddy Futurespeaker instead of one of my best friends since 2nd grade. And whenever he came in the door, I did this weird, I guess what it was meant to be comedical thing where I'd fall on the ground and be like, whoa, he's here, or something like that. It was fucking dumb. I was a weird child, alright? So later, one of my neighbors named Swamp came over because he was friends with us, And so he was hanging out. Swamp mostly hung out with me and Futurespeaker, went up to my room, and they chatted about like coding or some shit like that. I don't remember. It was, again, 4 years ago. So then they went downstairs to the basement and played Invisible Pool, where they basically pretended that there was a pool table and played pool. Pretty dumb, but hey, we're idiot 5th graders, remember this. So anyways, then me and Futurespeaker started to chat with my mom. We got this horrendous picture that will haunt my ass till the end of my fucking days. And I'll show a picture of a recreation up on screen. Obviously, this isn't the real picture. This is just me drawing. But yeah, that's the picture. Yeah. Fun picture. So he left, and then my former stepdad came over and said that I shouldn't close the door whenever boys are over because I might kiss them. Obviously, I didn't kiss them. So yeah, the next time we hung out over the summer was at an arcade. Originally, his brother and his brother's friend were gonna go with us, but his brother got sick. So me and Futurespeaker and his mom went to the arcade, which was located in a mall. We got there, did arcade stuff like you do, and then there's this area where you could get these inflatable hamster balls, bounce around, so we did that too. Next, we went to Subway and bought some good old sandwiches and talked about if there was a universe where everything we thought was fiction was true, but everything we thought was true was fiction. Don't know why, but it happened. Now, one of the last times we hung out was during the summer before 6th grade, was me going to the swimming pool by his house. His brother got to invite one friend, and he got to invite one friend. So he obviously invited me. And so one thing that they had was they had a lot of floaties, but one main floaty they had was a little pink donut floaty. So at the pool, we did this game where we try to like get on the donut floaty. I won most of the time because I'm cool like that. Just joking. They probably just went easy on me. And then another game they played was where you try to swim down to the middle of pool, touch it, and then go up in one breath. I couldn't hold my breath because I'm such a chicken. And just watch them play. Another funny story that happened at the pool was there was this thing called Adult Swim. So basically for 10 minutes, the lifeguard would take a break, which is all it was for. And kids under the age of 18 would not be allowed to obviously swim because it's called Adult Swim for a reason. So my dumb ass didn't realize that the lifeguard had to go up to the lifeguard place and blow the whistle before Adult Swim was over. So it was only us, luckily, in the pool. No one else. It was just these dudes. And the lifeguard comes out, and I think Adult Swim is over. So I pencil dive into the water like a fucking idiot, and everyone is confused. And then it turns out Adult Swim is not over, so I had to get out, walk in shame, and then jump in with everyone else. Which honestly I think is fucking hilarious, which it did save me a lot of embarrassment in the future. So now, it is the first day of school. Me and Futurespeaker only shared one class, which was on A days, and that was 5th hour orchestra. But obviously we had lunch before them, right after 3rd hour, so we'd meet up and head to lunch, nothing special. I started bringing my lunch every day because I don't have to wait in those stupid ass lines to wait for fucking lunch because those things were so goddamn long. It was insane. Originally, it was just me and Futurespeaker sitting at this weird circle table thing, but then Flicker was like, "Hey, dude, sit with me." And so she got her mom to contact my mom to get me to sit with her. So then we moved over there and sat and started hanging out with those dudes. So basically the people there were like Flicker, obviously, Granite, Cactus, and Opal. So yeah, cool dudes. Futurespeaker would do this thing where he would quote entire comedians part of their act word for word. He doesn't do this anymore. We were sitting there and he started to quote The Odd Ones Out's entire Christmas on a Budget to me. But instead of 12 pugs, he did this thing where he said 12 cats, which if you didn't know, I really like cats because they're cute and cuddly and sweet. But let's get to orchestra. Holy shit again. This is where all the interesting stuff happens, guys. So in orchestra, for the first thing we had to do was you could work with a partner or do it alone, where you'd pluck on the strings so you get used to using the fingerings and stuff, and you'd choose a song to pluck. So me and Futurespeaker decided to do Doctor Who theme song because he was a huge Doctor Who nerd. And so he played the main part, and I played the behind part. I remember exactly how it goes. It's been a while since I've seen Doctor Who. But yeah, we did that. Pretty cool. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So now, last orchestra story. Oh my god. This is so fucking cringy. It's insane. So basically, we're in the back of the orchestra, and I'm like, woo, I'm a weird little 6th grader. Might as well tell my boyfriend to hold my hand. So the final story to end this all off. So while we were walking to lunch, September 2nd, he said to me, we have to talk.